Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the show that is not a show. It's not a show, so it's a happy hour. We hang out, we have a drink together, and we talk about everything that's going on in our lives, in Cincinnati craft beer, in drinking, in everything. It's just a happy hour, guys. It's easy. No stress. That's the whole point. It's actually to remove stress from the rest of our lives. Let's see. Julia says, hello. Just cracked a Pipeworks Ninja versus Unicorn versus the Haze Double IPA. I am finishing the last little bit of a Braxton Grader's pumpkin pie that I shared with the wife. What happened to your finger, Gnome? We were doing yard work, and I cut it, and I have a frozen Band-Aid. It was yesterday, though, so it might actually be okay by now. But you can't see my foot, but my foot is all bandaged up right now, too, from today. It's been a mess. John says, just open a Das Henkel by Alexander Brewery. Yes. We will not get into the whole contract brew discussion today. Marco says, just getting to go and having a truth. I'm going to kill this, and then I've got something to crack open. I have two things to crack open, in fact. 2 glasses, 2 beers. You guys know what that means. Oktoberfest Quest, it's time for a showdown. I am cheating a little bit here. Not cheating. I'm still waiting on one beer to be released from round 1. Bierkes Oktoberfest is still not on shelves yet, as far as I know, so I do not have it. So we're messing up with our rounds. Round 1 is still in progress. This is round 2. Let's see. Julia says, yard work is dangerous. Apologies in advance. I've had 2 13.5 Imperial Stouts in the last hour, and then the 8% double IPA. I may be a bit chatty tonight. That is okay. That is the point. So let me update you guys on, before we dive into these, the status of where we're at with, we have lots of papers to keep track of where I'm at in my rounds of Oktoberfest Quest. Originally, I had planned for the finals to be this Friday. There is no way. It's doubtful that I'll even get a hold of Oktoberfest by this Friday. And even if I do, it's doubtful that I will work through all of the other brackets by Friday. So we are, we're going to be a little behind. John says they're having distribution issues. We'll get it. We will get it all figured out. So as of right now, round 2, we will have, you guys want to know who's going to be going against who? We could do that. We have, we'll start with, let's see, we still have round 1. Big Ash is going to be taking on Listerman as soon as I get a hold of the Big Ash, which hopefully I'll have this week. The winner of that, we'll finish round 1 first. So Big Ash and Listerman are round 1, and then Bierkes will be going against an import. And the import, I don't know which one yet. I will go to the store and find the freshest I can possibly find to try to keep it a little bit fair. And that'll wrap up round 1. That moves us into round 2, which kind of starts today, sort of. Braxton will be taking on that winner of Bierkes versus the import. Sonder will be taking on the winner of Big Ash and Listerman, which could be interesting if Listerman gets through. I believe last year the final 3, if I remember right, were Braxton, Sonder, and Listerman. Then we have Westside and Brink will be battling. We have 50 West and Moerlein. We're doing that today. Madtree versus High Grain. And that's round 2. Now, round 3 is where it gets really interesting before the finals. Round 3 we introduce the non-winner into, not the loser, we're not calling it the loser, into the mix. So one of the previously eliminated beers, it could be from round 1 or round 2, somebody that has been eliminated is going to be voted on by you guys and everybody who is on social media. And one of them gets dropped back in to the bracket. And as of right now, it looks like they will be battling the winner of Sonder versus either Big Ash or Listerman. So Sonder, Big Ash, or Listerman will be battling the person that was eliminated. Or one of those beers, I guess, in theory. One of them could be the one that gets voted back in. So that's where we're at. It is very complicated. I was trying to keep the rounds. Last year, I jumped all over the place. While I was waiting on round 1 beers, I went ahead and worked my way through the bracket. I didn't like that as much. I was trying to avoid it this year, but if I don't start getting into these other rounds, we'll be drinking Oktoberfest well into November, and we don't want that. I'm excited about this one because the Moerlein, the Wootz, really surprised me last time I drank it. And so I'm curious to see how it does here. The 50 West is a fantastic fest beer, Vienermobile. So we'll see how it does. I'm also not on a fresh palate right now after drinking some pumpkin beers. All right, so we've got 50 West on this side in the Jungle Jim's barrel-aged beer bash glass. I think that's actually probably the same as this. Yeah, the newer logoed barrel-aged beer bash glass is Moerlein. They look fairly similar. The Vienermobile is much brighter, much clearer, lighter too, versus the Moerlein Wootz. Definitely has a little bit of a haze to it, and a little bit more orange and not as yellowy. Big thick head on the 50 West, not so much on the Moerlein. A lot fruitier on the Moerlein side, whereas it's more toasty on 50. Like big time. I'm not in an unoffensive way, but definitely fruitier, which I don't like as much out of my my Oktoberfest. I tend to want something that's a little bit cleaner and just that nice toast. Yeah, there's it's a little bit almost oxidized. There's a little bit of a cardboardy kind of note going on. Yeah, I will tell you that according to this can, this was canned 5/28 of 2021. This one was filled on 7/27 of 2021. They were both purchased right around the same time, though. So this is, neither one of these are super fresh, but for number one, for a lager, it should be able to sit in a fridge for a while without it tasting bad. And for an Oktoberfest, typically for me, they can still sit a little bit longer. This is no contest, though, for me. The 50 West runs away with it big time. This is probably not the fault of the beer itself. It is just a little cardboardy. Let's see. Let me catch up here. Any idea how we'll vote on those? A combo of Insta, Twitter, Facebook poll, or just weekly Pint viewer votes? So it'll be social media. So I'll probably put something up on Instagram and Twitter, definitely. Facebook, maybe. I'm not a huge Facebook fan, and I don't know. I haven't used their polls a whole lot, but definitely Instagram and definitely Twitter. So make sure you're following on there. and vote on your favorite. This is disappointing. I thought this was going to be closer than it was. This beer is already a shadow of what the last can I had was. Yeah, I'm okay. Not loving that. I don't know that I would send it back if I was sitting at a bar, but I certainly wouldn't order it again. Whereas 50 is freaking fantastic. So, not as eventful as I was hoping. Julia says, if it were a fresher can, do you think it would be a harder pick? Possibly. I'm torn, though. So, this is the third one of these that I've had this year. The first one we drank back when I was at Casual Pint with Andy Foltz, and I didn't love it then. It wasn't bad, but it was not awesome. It wasn't my favorite Oktoberfest that I had. When I tried it last time, it was up against Grainworks, and it beat Grainworks. Which was very surprising. Like I want to go grab a can of Grainworks right now and try it again. Grainworks got ripped off because I guarantee that Grainworks is drinking better than what this one is right now. There's a lot of faults with the entire idea of this Oktoberfest Quest, and we talked about it last week, where you had two beers from the same brewery. One was contract brewed, one was not, and clearly there was a difference between the two. That is one fault that can happen in something like this. Freshness of the cans obviously is not super fair. This is almost 2 months difference from when these beers were made. At the same time, if it's on the shelf, if this is what they're selling people, then this is what. If this is what you want your Oktoberfest to be judged by, or if it's not what you want your Oktoberfest to be judged by, it shouldn't be sitting on a shelf for me to buy it, I guess, is the way I think of it. So, that's that. 50 West moves on, and we'll be taking on... it'll be taking on either... West Side or Brink, I believe. I think. I don't know. We'll see. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about. I have some big news coming tomorrow morning. First thing, I don't think I'm supposed to talk about it yet. Although, let me check and see if anybody has leaked it out yet. And if they have, let's see. No, not looking like it yet. I don't want to be the one that that blows it. I'll just say, make sure you jump on the blog in the morning, and you will be able to snag your tickets before anybody else. And it's going to be fun. We won't repost, we promise. It's live, though. Anybody can be on here. I have something fun coming, a fun event that everybody will be able to attend, drink some great beer, drink some other fun stuff, do some fun things. Marco says, can you take my money now? No. Well, yeah, I mean, technically I could. Yeah, it will be live in the morning. You'll see it. Or if somebody else leaks it out before me, then you'll see it. But I don't think they will. It's going to be good, you guys. It's going to be fun. Make sure your calendar, I guess I can tell you this, make sure your calendar is clear. I believe November the 20th. Let me double check that. Yes, November the 20th. It's a Saturday. Make sure you are free either at noon or 6 p.m. We will have two different opportunities to do this thing that I am talking about. I was just asked if I need to be supervised due to how I'm feeling right now. Good thing tickets aren't on sale yet. Oh, I didn't tell you guys that you can always call into the show. Look how bad I am at this. The whole point of this is to have conversations. As if you're new to this, you are now seeing. You can call in 567-70-DRINK, or you can just jump on and take part in the chat like you have been seeing. Although now you can actually see it. Marco says, is it a red cream seltzer party? No. However, if I have something to do with it, there may be red cream seltzer involved in the party thing that we're working on. We've been working on. It's gonna be fun, you guys. That's all you need to know. Make sure your calendar is clear, and when the information posts in the morning, you'll have all of the details. And Julia says, it's a new seltzer that breaks our stance on IP stealing party. We'll see. It is, it's going to be fun. And there are going to be a lot of your favorite breweries involved and lots of cool stuff. That's all I can say. You want to jump into some label approvals? Change the topic so I don't say too much. Some of these you guys have probably seen. I know a couple have kind of popped up out there already because I'm slow to get to things. But all right, there's only a few this week, but there are some good ones. So we've got. Let me pull the chat off for you. Mad Trees a huevo. There's that one. It's a Mexican hot chocolate stout. It's got, let's see, cacao nibs, peppers, cinnamon, vanilla, and sorry, Marco, lactose. Great beer. Perfect for kind of the fall, winter if it comes out soon. I am all about it, ready for it. And this weekend, I went to the Sonder Oktoberfest, of course, as you guys hopefully heard this week on the Brewcast. And later on in the evening, was sitting around at a table with some folks, and one of them being Chad from Narrowpath, who earlier in the day had been using a beer stick, beer poker, beer fire stick. I don't know what you call it. You basically heat up a metal rod, shove it in a beer that is high in sugar content, and then as it starts to cool down, you pull it out. I've never tried that before. I've heard about it happening with a couple, Box and things like that, and I was blown away by how delicious it was, how great it made the beer. It turned it into like this marshmallowy, fluffy thing. Not at all what I thought was going to happen, but it was awesome, and has inspired me to the next time we go camping, which will be fairly soon. We're going to go when it's really cold outside and make some chili and sit around a fire the whole time because you won't be able to do anything else because it'll be too cold. And I would really love to have this beer to shove a fire poker in. I feel like it would be amazing. That was the whole point that I was going to with this, is that I want to get a fire poker and poke at beers. Here's an urban artifact. This is a Midwest fruit tart called Waterbird. It's pink guava. This is the double version. If you guys haven't caught on with their Midwest fruit tarts, when they release them now, they do with most of them. The special ones, sometimes they don't, but they do the regular version, then a double version. Marco wants to know if I have branded fire pokers for purchase. Not yet. However, maybe in the future. That is not the news tomorrow. Here is another urban release. This one is very interesting because this is called it's called Teak. It is a tropical American fruit tart. This is something that we have not really seen yet. This is a new twist on the line that we are familiar with. We don't know a lot about it, other than I've heard rumors of a tiki-inspired line. So I'm going to guess this is probably the first of those that we are seeing. Here is the regular version of Waterbird. Again, pink guava, Midwest fruit tart. Yep. Sign me up. I love what Urban's doing. I love the Midwest fruit tarts. I love it all. So there's that. And that's all the labels that we have today. I love the guava label, but I haven't found any guava that I liked. Reminds me of the new Fort Lauderdale airport statue. Look it up. I will, but I don't know what you're talking about. I love the artwork, especially the double one. I love this artwork. And I do like guava. I think guava's good. So I'm pumped about those. More excited about this teak because especially as a cocktail nerd and a tiki cocktail nerd at that, I think this sounds absolutely fantastic. I'm excited to see what it's all about. So that's that. You guys said that you did get a chance to hear the Sonder podcast. You're going to make this hard for me to click on that. Hang on. I have to pull up on here. I'm just going to Google it. It's easier than trying to. Oh, it's a flamingo statue. That's amazing. If I can pull it up so you guys can see it. Oh my God, I hate news websites. There we go. The Tampa Bay Times. There it is. That's fantastic. I want that in my living room. Let's see. Marco says I did listen, of course. Yeah, I had a really, really good time with that show. I was worried how it was going to turn out because when I got there, everybody was a little bit lit already, but I think it turned out great. And it really did capture that feeling perfectly of just being so ready for festivals, which we've had a couple here and there, but nothing that really, really felt the way that this one did. You got a lot of people hanging out, a lot of people from local breweries kind of milling around, and it was good to see everybody at the same place. It was nice. Julia said it was fine until Jingle showed up. Then it was off the rails in a good way. He was there the whole time. He was because he had been on the Sonder Stories podcast right before I did my show. So he was there. I think at the very beginning, he went to go grab more beer or something. I don't know. I don't remember. I was sucked into starting a show. It was fun. I love Oktoberfest as an idea, and I love in practice when you get these festivals that really kind of capture that camaraderie that is missing from a lot of them. You know, I love Oktoberfest Cincinnati. I think it's great. It's a great thing for the city, but you go down there and it just doesn't feel that same way, which to me, that is a huge part of what Oktoberfest is supposed to be. It's supposed to be about community and spending time with your people, you know. So it was good to see that they have definitely figured that out. Um, we have so last week we had our first pumpkin beer on Prost, first pumpkin beer of the year. There are probably more coming. Maybe I'll do a pumpkin. I have one can of it that has been teasing me that I will probably end up, I'll probably end up drinking it outside of recording. So never mind. Won't be pumpkin. I'm trying to think if I have any other pumpkins so far. I don't think so. Julia says Oktoberfest is a feeling, but Cincinnati may not be the same feeling. That's a good way to put it. Oktoberfest Cincinnati still is a feeling. It's its own thing, but it's not the feeling that I want from Oktoberfest. As far as this week on Prost, I have no idea what I'm drinking yet. I have not. I have an idea. It may possibly be a seltzer, or it may possibly be a cocktail. I'm going back and forth on the two. The seltzer would be an urban seltzer because I haven't really talked about them yet, and I think that they need to be talked about for a lot of different reasons. From a product standpoint, there aren't a ton of seltzers like that in Cincinnati yet. It also opens up a really fun conversation about what is happening with seltzer in the bigger picture of craft beer. There's some crazy stuff out there, which I do have. I have a smooge video that hopefully I'll get finished up this week. It's actually really close. I think I need to tweak some audio, maybe. No, I can't remember what else I need to do on it. There's like one or two things that I have to tweak before it's ready to go, and I'll post that, and you can hear my thoughts on smooge. If you haven't tried it, you should probably try it. It's so weird. Julia says smooge is so good, but only in small doses. Yes. No, I mean I drank a whole can and I was fine with it. Tasted kind of like a smoothie, which I guess is what it's supposed to taste like. But is it seltzer? I have no idea. I'm confused now about what seltzer is supposed to be. I don't know if it's supposed to be White Claw. I don't know if it's supposed to be Smooge. I don't know if it's supposed to be Astra. I don't know if it's supposed to be the Urban Artifact seltzers. They're all completely different products, in my opinion, and it confuses me. But it is a good representation of kind of where things are going in the in the bigger world of seltzer. So definitely something that I could talk about and scratch the surface of this week on Prost. But no, because if I'm posting, I mean, you guys tell me, if I'm posting a video, like a vlog kind of style video about smooge, should I then in that same week be posting a Prost that is also about a seltzer? Or should we vary things up and do a smooge video and then a cocktail video, but then maybe next week go into the urban seltzer? I don't know. Julia says, I mean that is that I can't drink multiple cans in a one go kind of thing, but if you can, more power to you. No, there's a lot of drinks that I'm okay with a little bit, but don't want multiple of a lot, especially in this new world of smoothies and lactose and things like that. Sometimes I just want one. Shahan says multi-channel marketing, baby. Yeah. You can only have so much seltzer in your in your world, in my opinion. We'll see. And maybe I'll still record the I'll record them both, and then if I decide to post it, I can, and if I decide not to, we'll hold it for a week or so. We'll see. Yeah, that about does it here, guys. That's all I got for you. Nothing too exciting. Spent a lot of time at Sonder, and that was pretty much my weekend, other than soccer. And then we did go to a fall festival on Sunday, which was a fall festival. It was, I don't know why we have to plan these things right in the middle of football games, but it always seems to work out that way. So I did not get to sit down and watch the entire Bengals game the way I wanted to. I was, while the kids were doing their thing on little rides and stuff like that, I could pull out the phone and sit there and watch little bits and pieces of it. But fall. I just don't understand why I seem to be the only one in my family that understands. You have a 3-hour window once a week that you can't book stuff. Football. It was great seeing you at Sonder too, Marco. It's always great seeing you. I don't know if we've got any fun events like that coming up that our paths will cross. I guess it depends. I guess it depends on what the show this week ends up being, because I had like I said, I had a show scheduled, and it's probably not happening. Julia says, sports ball is life. Kids need babysitters when the sports ball is happening. Yes, they do. So I will definitely have some kind of a show being recorded on Friday, tentatively. And I also have to, at some point, swing by Big Ash to grab their Oktoberfest in cans. And then next week, I don't remember what I'm doing next week because it's not on my calendar. And actually, I don't have any other shows marked on my calendar right now. That's a problem. I need to make sure I get that updated. No, I do have one later in the month put in there, which is a fun one. I will be finally sitting down with the guys from Mad Tree again. It's been a while since I've gotten to talk to them. I know why it's not on there, because we don't have the date figured out exactly. I guess I can say I should be sitting down with Jason Brewer here very soon, formerly of Listerman, to talk about the next branch in his path. I have a couple meetings scheduled, some things that I can't talk about, some more things I can't talk about. This I can probably talk about this one. I won't say where, and I won't say a lot of details about it, but I am planning on working with some people about a collaboration beer coming up soon. That should be fun. Julia says, shout out to Diamond and Chaz for getting their first full episode of Beer is Not for Boys out. Yes, I have not gotten a chance to listen to it yet because it just posts into Spotify, so I have to pull the link into my podcatching app if I don't want to use Spotify, which I don't. So I haven't listened to it, but I will be tomorrow, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see that she finally got another episode out. I hope we can get this ball rolling and get them cranking out there, because I think she's on the right track, and we'll get better and better and better every time she just keeps putting out new episodes. So I encourage any of you, if there's anybody that's currently listening to this that does not have a podcast, which I don't know if any of you guys don't. If there's anybody that is listening to this that does not have a podcast but has ever thought about it, you should totally make a podcast. It is so much fun, and I love hearing more local content and things that can get me excited about drinking beer. So if there's even a little bit of an inkling in your head, do it. Do it. It's easier now than it ever has been. You can get started for fairly cheap and fairly easy, and make podcasts. Gnome is the podcast gateway drug. Yes, I'm more of the podcast drug pusher. I love podcasts, and I love encouraging people to do them. Sean says, I don't think my wife would be okay with me picking up another job. No, it is definitely a little bit time consuming, but not that bad. And you can record it and depending on what your podcast looks like, you can record it in weird times. You could, in theory, record a podcast while you are driving to work every day and do that. I think there was a guy I saw one time that does a podcast when he's like riding his bike or something like that. He was every day he takes this bike ride and then talks about his bike riding journey, I guess. I don't know, weight loss journey maybe. I don't know. I haven't listened to it. I just heard about the podcast. But it's finding that moment is already there. Now you're just tacking on something to that moment. Julia says, use the Anchor app to record while working your normal 9 to 5. There you go. You can call it the 9 to 5 show. The problem is, and I've talked to a couple of you guys about this, is like once you start a podcast, it makes you want to do other podcasts. Once you realize that the process is there, once you figure out that process, you can just do as many as you can find time to do. And there's always these little topics or these ideas like, oh, that'd be fun to try. I want to try that. I want to talk about that. I do have, I shouldn't say because it always takes so long to actually get it done, but I do have a new episode of Drinking with a Gnome that the notes are all written out. It's ready. I just need to sit down and actually record it and then get it posted. So hopefully that'll be coming in the next month or so. It's a solo one, though. I'm not going to bring a guest on this one, and it gets a little bit nerdier than some of the episodes have already. We're going to dive into a spirit, one of my favorite spirits, and kind of talk a little bit about the history and what it is, and some cocktails and some places that you can go around Cincinnati to get some. I do have, going back to last week's Prost, or 2 weeks ago's Prost, where I drank some sake. I will be doing an episode of Drinking with a Gnome with sake sometime. I have 2 other Drinking with the Gnome episodes that I want to get recorded before that one. So, and those are with guests. I need to get on a better schedule with that one. I enjoy Drinking with the Gnome a lot, and I'm always sad that I don't do it as much as I want to. Going back to the time issue that Sean was talking about, it's very difficult sometimes, but at the same time, if you just sit down and do it, it's really not that bad. Especially if you've got, if you do a podcast already, like I just got all this set up, I can just sit down and hit the button, record, and just go. But as of right now, I'm just not spending that much time down here. And when I'm home, I'm upstairs and playing. And with the kids, obviously. I'm not playing with my own toys or anything like that. I don't have any toys anymore. My kids stole everything that I love. It's not true. There's lots of things I love, like beer. I do have, I think, one action figure sitting on a shelf somewhere. Lion-O from Thundercats. Let's see. Julia says, if you haven't listened to the latest Truth, Beer, and Consequences, the music I added to the Marco Freeman segment took like an hour to find and try to figure out the right place to add it. There's little things like that, but now you know. And the next time, it won't take an hour. And then the next time won't take as long as it does that. It just gets easier and faster and way more addicting. Been there, done that, though. Yeah. And there are ways to make all of that easier, too. If you, the part of the reason I record things the way I do, I record everything kind of live to tape where intro music and outro music and all that stuff gets added in while I'm recording just to cut back on time, just a little bit on editing. It saved its own clip, so I can just copy and paste in as needed. Perfect. It's fun. If anybody wants to start a podcast, start a podcast. Shoot me an email, and I will give you all of the details on how to do that most efficiently. Anyways, like I said, we'll wrap this up. We're getting close to 45 minutes. I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter. and just keep failing at that because I love sitting here and talking to you guys so much. Tomorrow morning, when you get up to go to work, depending on what time you go to work, make sure you jump on to thegnarlygnome.com and read the exciting news, the exciting event that you can take part in, and you can get your tickets. I'm not going to tell you to go to thegnarlygnome.com/tickets, but that might work. I don't know. I didn't tell you that though, but I think it is live. So if it works and you can do it now, don't tell anybody that I told you where you can find it. You could. I heard the cough. I hope so. So my youngest is currently sick, and I am fine as of right now, but hopefully won't get sick. It's one of the worst parts about having kids is all of the germs that swirl around them. They are little germ buckets and like to share it with you. So as of right now, I'm fine. I just kind of always have a cough. I have a lot of seasonal allergies and things that kick my butt sometimes. I care about you too, Marco. Thank you. I'm fine. I'm not dying. There's no COVID. None of that. I don't think it's possible for me to catch COVID again with how many times I've had it and vaccinated and all of that. I'm immune to everything at this point after the last couple of years. Knock on wood. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Thank you very much. Make sure, like I said, go to the website tomorrow and also make sure you're following on all of your favorite social media platforms as well as YouTube. If you are not following on YouTube, please do that. And please tell other people to do it too. I'm really, really, really trying to get YouTube going more. And the only way for me to make that make sense in my time is to have people actually watching it. So as of right now, if everybody's engaging with my content on the website, that's where I'm going to focus my energy. If everybody is engaging in my content on Instagram, that's where I'm focusing the energy. You get the point. You get how it works. I only have so many hours in the day, and I have to focus somehow. Julia says, listen to Saunders Stories, Shift Beers, Cincy Brewcast, Truth Beer and Pods, Quinces, Beers Not for Boys, and all the other local Cincy craft beer podcasts. Buy their merch, support them on Patreon, or however you can. Bring Marco and I beers at BC's Montgomery. Yes, all of those things. You would be surprised at how much, if you just spend $5 a month on some of your favorite podcasts, how much that helps them create the content that they really want to create. And the more people that we have that are creating original content around craft beer, the better it is for all of us. So support all of your favorite shows and drink some good beer along the way, right? Thank you, guys. We will be back next week, every week, with the Weekly Pint. It's not a show, but it's still fun, right? Also, toying around with some other cool ideas with other fun things that I can do for you guys and people who are nomies and everybody. I'm actually thinking about doing some kind of a live in-person happy hour type thing. So stay tuned for that. I don't know when I'll actually get around to planning it, but it's in my mind, so stay tuned. Thanks, guys.